So, yeah, feel free to use that sapling. And
That
yeah,
was like I had backed up and that was still in my face.
I took damage from that.
That's
so
not as bad as the sacred rubber.
no, I've never even found that one yet, but I had one of these or two of these at our house before, and it took an age and a half to
Yeah.
chop down the first one.
Gosh, how am I supposed to get leaves off? I need a leaf blower.
Oh, you want leaves off?
Oh, this is gonna be a
What part of
problem.
it do you want leaves off of?
You mean the entire tree?
Well, I'll just do it myself by hand because I'm trying to shape it like in a certain way.
What
So
do you
Well,
think though?
use
With
I
the
was
this,
gonna
leaf
say because
blower.
I do have a leaf blower, so I could get rid of leaves,
does
but
does this work for a tree house
it's
for you?
Yeah, this is fun.
it's actually a
It's
really good
good.
starting point for that because you get a lot of room to work with.
I know this is great.
Your territory out here is a little unfriendly.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Building right next to probably.
Probably because Flip is here.
I actually don't have any way to summon mobs yet.
That is cool.
Where are
That
you at?
If I am flying up with my jetpack, even when I'm pointing my light down, the light was like curving upwards.
Oh. If you're wondering what that shiny particle effect is, it counts those lights as
Holy
projectiles
crap!
and it's
What's
preventing them.
up with all the mobs?
Well, it is nighttime.
Yeah, see, here's night. It's nighttime.
And how is there some?
That's a dad joke if I ever heard one.
No, it's worse than a dad joke.
Yeah, true.
Alright, guys, so let's try infusing ourselves for the first time. So, all we need is Ghost of the Light and Altar Power 2000. Well, I off-screen crafted Ghost of the Light. The most important parts were, say, well, what were the most important parts anyway, Mr. Fwip? Quite obviously, Night Vision Potion of 8 minutes, Fire Resistance Potion of 8 minutes, a Fire Protection Poppet, and more Tongues of Dog, which weren't all that tricky to make, and I finally got the Ember Moss to start growing a little bit here. So let's get this accomplished. Infusing myself with Altar Power should cause me to die, but we have a Death Protection Poppet. Here, I'll show you. Oh, and by the way, they told me that you can make a chisel. No, sorry, it's a hammer from the statues mod, and then you can make statues like this using any sort of block you want. Now, of course, I used that one there with the chisel to show exactly how that's made. That's our base, and that's theirs, based on height map projections. I should grab another height map of their base, their actual factory base, whenever it's more near to completion. Alright, so all we need to do is stand in this circle, throw in the Ghost of the Light, and I believe this should work. Let's stand over here, maybe. No, let's stand in the middle-ish. Okay. Oh, God. I think the fact that everything suddenly glued at once, or rather glowed at once, proved that I just infused myself with Ghost of the Light. This should be a nice little counter to Mr. Knight's Magic of Doom. And in case you're wondering, did that use up the Death Protection Poppet? It did. Okay, good. So I'm now infused. That's what that is on the side. Alright, so the next step that I need is, in order to use my infused powers, I need a Witch's Hand, which conveniently I have right here. It is creepy and everything, so let's go figure out how it can be used, just to test it out. Now, there are uses for it with specific entities and mobs and stuff, so let's go over here to our sheep farm, where we don't really need anybody. So if we used this on him, on the sheep, clicking it once will trap it in a box above my head. How long does it last? Well, not forever. There you go. How about shift clicking? Ah, shift clicking on a mob will put a box around them, I believe. So if I did that on this cow, trapped in there, great. So if I was to click regularly in the world, nothing would happen, obviously, but if I shift click, no. Shift right click puts up a barricade. Shift right click like this. Oh, I can walk through them, but nobody else can. I think is how that works. Okay. How about on the side of a block? That makes a bridge. That I don't care too much about. It's the whole, if Knight comes at me during PvT, punch, and he's trapped in a block like that. That'll work on players. Okay, and as far as I know, you can't mine through that. You just gotta wait. So if I were to use that with, say, a wand that could explode things... Oh, look, that already killed that poor cow. That's fantastic. Okay. But that was just fall damage. Fall damage is pretty much not important at all. All right, so now that I am infused, it's time to figure out exactly what that really means. Let's see here. Is there anything really important in my storage chest anyway? A few things. Scoop, sword, those things. But I don't really tend to use them as much as I do my focus pouch. So why don't we take the focus pouch and switch that with this one. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll keep that one in there, because leaving things in the enemy network is always important. Let's figure out how you charge that. The infusion, that is. There should be rite of charging, for example. Binding, transposition. Maybe it's on here. Hard to say, really. Rite of binding, not important. We're looking for rite of charging. There it is. Charges the attuned stone. No. Rite of... Wait, what's that? Recharge infused power by standing in the circle. Lasts indefinitely, but requires 40 power per second. Uses a potion of regeneration 45 seconds. So, if I were to do that right now, we've got plenty of potions of regeneration, I think. Wait, those are potions of healing. Maybe they're still on the brewing stand. Let's see how this works. Does that last forever? I wonder. Altar's still going up. That's interesting. Maybe it's because of how much stuff I have around it, right? Maybe this will always charge me. That would be fine and dandy. Alright, so the next thing that I really want to test, obviously, is now that I am infused with the power, and I still need to know what to do with it, right? So... Oh boy, I just cut down a tree using a light barrier. That's weird. Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. Alright, so the next thing we really need to do is find some coven witches somewhere and talk to them. Now these light barricades obviously don't last forever, but I really don't think that I needed the teleportation one, such as what Knight is doing right now. Simply because, well, I can fly. And if I took his, it would just be like taking his idea. And I am not, in any way, shape, or form, into taking that sort of thing. No. However, that meant we either had the ability to, like, shape the earth, which, yeah, don't really see too much in that. Taking mob essence, like I think it was the infusion of the nether lets you take on abilities that other creatures have, which is fine. Not my cup of tea, though. And this one here, where I can trap people in blocks and then hopefully, for example, use my wand to destroy them. Or at the very least, stop Night from getting too close. Something like that. I'm basically one witch trying to combat another right now. Which is a very strange sequence of events. Okay, let's not go in the ominous woods. That is a dark and dangerous place. I'm just trying to find a witch hut somewhere where I can find somebody who might possibly want to talk to me now that I am an infused person. There's nothing really I think that I want a coven for. I mean, there's supposedly some spells in the late game that covens are necessary for. But I want to see what I can do because, well, let's just say that I like friends. And having coven witches be able to, like, aid me in spells sometimes, or, oh, I thought that was a tainted pig. That was just a black sheep on some grass. Okay, so it's now our charge right now to explore the world. Seriously, though, some of this stuff is awesome. Like, boop. Like, look at that. Those guys aren't coming down anytime now. That's a pretty cool ability. So how about I meet you... Oh, I should go to the Twilight Forest, actually, shouldn't I? There are tons of witches in there. And they should all have little side quests for me to do. Obviously, I'm into side quests. It's too bad it doesn't really explain somewhere where the infusion... Oh, wait, maybe it does. Maybe there is an infusion book somewhere. And that way, I would totally be able to figure out how to use my newfound power. At the very least, this is like a new dimension of power since it's a bar on the left-hand side. That's awesome. Okay. Is there an infusion book, I wonder? Well, here's all the Witchery books as I know them. Witchcraft, Herbology, Distilling, Collecting, Infuse. Brews and Infusions. Symbology, Biomes. Okay. Ghost of the Light. Soul of the World. Infused Brew Base. No, this just explains how to make everything. It doesn't particularly say what you can do with them. No, this is not what I'm looking for, but that's fine. Hey, this is a good chance for me to show off the last thing that I did, which was build a cool, nifty little area here. This was just where I used the wand that made the portal in the sky. Down here's the Twilight portal, and one more down. Right here's where I put our Nether portal. Spiffy, huh? I'm the kind of gamer that likes the look of things in Minecraft. So let's go here in our Twilight portal and go find some witches, because there should be a lot of witches last time I checked, unless I've just been killing them all. Why am I on fire? I have no idea what would have set me on fire. That villager is certainly not going to fight me. He's just a villager dude. But how about I meet you back when I find a witch, maybe catch her in a safari net, and bring her back home. Sounds a bit weird, but that's what I do. And his friend Morgana Blackwood, who doesn't believe in him. I had to use a golden lasso to bring her around. Maybe she'll like me more now that I'm wearing Baba Yaga's hat and the witch's robes. No! What? What do you mean, no? Honestly, though, I heard Knight had the same problem. I don't know what the problem is, but she just doesn't believe in me. I even tried trapping her in a light circle, but that didn't help me any. There we go. All topped up. And how's our altar doing? Max power. What can I say? This lasts forever. I'm gonna try to look online at what other cool things that Ghost of the Light can do. I remember Direwolf 20 kind of had a nice tutorial on it, so I'll try and figure out what my abilities are. Besides being able to do that to poor unsuspecting mobs like chickens. You're probably thinking, hey Flip, what in the world are you standing on? Well, just a moment ago, and by a moment I mean, well, it took me a while, I decided to change the entire cobblestone structure of Hannibal's Ars Magica Chalice Palace, also known as the temple that looks like a giant cup. And I finally decorated it exactly like how I wanted. And of course, Wand of Equal Trade was totally how I did that, or rather, wand focus. So we got these gravestone obelisks in the four corners, just for looks. Fantasy stone, which you can create with stone and then nuggets of gold. And then the chisel made it look absolutely fabulous. These things here, of course, are topaz, malachite, and tanzanite, some of the blocks from Biomes of Plenty, which our laser drill has really been pumping out there. Anyway, I can't wait to see what he really thinks of what I've done here, because I kind of made him this temple because he needed a building, and I thought, hey, let's do something different. I'll make him something cool. And it was just his birthday, so I'm hoping he's really happy about that. Anyway, what we're going to do now is pay a visit to Squatch. Now, I could preface this visit by saying, hey, I just want to see how your Foamcraft research is going. Because off-screen, he was having some real difficulty. He couldn't examine trees, he couldn't examine redstone, and I kind of went step by step on how to help him with that. Like, scan seeds, put water and air together, put vacuos and tenebrae and lux and all that other good stuff. So we're going to go and hopefully get a tag lock kit with his name on it. Now, how am I going to get close to the Squatch without him knowing? Well, I looked online and there's one more trick that you can do when you're infused with Ghost of the Light. Let's grab our tag lock kits here. Now, I can't do this with armor, but holding right click with the witch's hand, yeah, turns me completely invisible. And makes me kind of floaty. Kind of hard to just kind of walk around holding right click because obviously I'm no longer super fast. I can't even run. But I'm completely invisible. I have no name tag. Obviously, I can still jump. So, we're going to try and sneak up on the Squatch. Now, I know he's doing Foamcraft research. So let's very carefully sneak over to him and see what he's up to. I'm trying to think of some other applications that being totally invisible would be good for. Let's go invisible again here just in case. He's built a really cool Foamcraft lab. Now that's kind of awesome. I'm impressed at what you've done. Oh, there he is. Oh, God. Okay. I don't think he saw us, but he was trying to speak to us. So, unfortunately, with Squatch's tower... Oh, this is creepy, just being able to stalk him like this. I believe with Squatch's tower, there is no way to get inside other than that front door. Let's quickly just case the perimeter, as it were, and make sure there isn't something I can do to get in without him seeing me immediately. I mean, I could hold shift so that he doesn't see my name tag, but I need to get in an iron door, and that is more difficult than you think. Obviously, I think mobs can't see me, or that guy would be tracking me right now. I think he's following the scent trail that I'm leaving behind. But I don't have any way to get in without alerting the zombies and the Squatch. Whip has been foiled by a button. This is not good. Alright. If we can get inside. without Squatch seeing me. Yeah, I think we're still in the clear. Totally invisible. Okay, it's totally worth it to use up my meter. I can just recharge it later. What else was I going to do? Anyway, I believe I can still use this elevator block. Yes, I can. Okay. Hello, Mr. Lesquatch. You're doing something very interesting today, aren't you? Oh, yes. So while you are using your limbic, I need to wait till he's not looking or is busy melting things. Oh, good, he's crafting. That should be fine. Okay, let's do this. I don't think he knows where I am. Oh, yeah, that is the pro way of getting a tag lock kit from your friend Mr. Lesquatch without him even realizing I was there. I tell you, BlitzKraft as a war server isn't very violent, but there is no way in heck you'd be able to find me, who's completely invisible. I mean, he knows it was me, but boop. All right, let's go back to grabbing our stuff and fly out of here real quick. Mission accomplished. We've got a tag lock of Mr. Lesquatch. Not that I really know what to do with it, but I just felt like doing a really cool stealth mission. You know what I mean? I'm sure he can admit that was totally within the rules. I mean, it was awesome, it was fun, and just in case I got 2 of them. It's kind of impossible to take tag locks of people without them seeing. I could have probably got it from his bed, for example, but that's no fun. All I do is wait here in our circle of recharging. Oh yeah. And we get back our infused power. That's awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do with a couple tag locks of Mr. Lesquatch, but I think it's safe to say that I earned these ones at least. See you later.